What would I need? Mini Morph, obviously, Vengeance. Twisted Catalyzer is not enough. That's game right there. Oh man, these Pantheon games are such a grind. GG. What? No, you won! Hey YouTube, thanks so much for watching this video today. Today we'll be playing a deck that you might have seen already. This deck is called Darkness, and it revolves around two champions, Veigar and Senna. Now the whole point of this deck is to generate this Darkness card, 3 mana, deal 2, slow speed, and buff it up. So what we'll be doing is we'll be buffing up the damage that it does, and we'll be lowering the mana cost. So eventually this 3 mana, 2 damage slow spell might be like 1 mana, deal 5 damage, and we can even turn it into a fast spell, believe it or not. So let me just go over the deck really quick. Since this is one of the top decks in the meta right now, I won't have a lot of unique things to say. Today we will be practicing this deck, we'll be learning it, and at the end we'll see if we want to make any particular changes or refinements from the standard build just based on the meta that we've seen before. Now I'm playing this deck partially selfishly. I've found that as I make these YouTube videos, since I'm picking up a new deck, playing it for 10 or 15 games, and then setting it down and moving on to the next one, oftentimes I have a difficult time actually climbing the ladder. So today I wanted to learn a tried and true deck in the meta that's a solid tier 1 or tier 2 deck, depending on when it is and who you ask. And I'd like to gain some LP finally. I've been a little bit hard stuck at plat 2 or 3 for a week or so now. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So as I mentioned, this deck is revolving around two champions, Veigar. Veigar's purpose is to increase the damage that Darkness does every turn that he's on the board. All of your copies of Darkness for the rest of the game will deal 1 more damage. And Senna will be accelerating your Darkness to fast speed and also generating you more copies of the spell every time she attacks. So that's your primary engine, but that's not all. The other two most important cards in the deck are called Twisted Catalyzer. Twisted Catalyzer also will increase the damage of your Darkness every time he strikes, so we're playing 3 copies of that. And Stilted Robemaker. Stilted Robemaker is our method to reduce the cost of Darkness everywhere for the rest of the game. It's a slightly low tempo play. 4 mana 3/4 is a little understated for the cost, but making Darknesses 2 mana instead of 3 really starts to have a big impact over the course of the game. Pretty much everything else in this deck is support for those cards. We're playing a lot of removal. I think we're playing 8 pings in this deck, 2 group shot, 3 pokey stick, 3 vile feast. We are playing stress defense and mist call to either try to keep our Veigar alive or to bring it back if it dies. And then we're playing things like the box, Withering Wail, Mini Morph, and Vengeance. So there are a few other Darkness cards in this deck that I should talk about. The most important of those is probably Ixtali's Sentinel. So Ixtali's Sentinel is not only a lifesteal card, which gives us some game against aggro to help stabilize, but she also generates a copy of the Darkness and helps us get in some early chip damage by being able to target a unit with Darkness, probably kill it, and also deal some nexus damage. Aside from Ixtali's Sentinel, we have a single copy of Descent Ada. Descent Ada gives us a copy of Darkness, sets it to 0, and turns that Darkness into AoE. So, along with Withering Wail and the box, Descent Ada is one of our main options for AoE in this deck. But this one copy of Descent Ada on the top end is very optional. Some builds don't run it. We're playing the Rekindler to get back a dead Veigar or Senna. Note that if a Senna has died, it will always pull the Senna because Senna is stronger than Veigar, even once Veigar levels. And we're playing Dark Bulb Acolyte to generate more copies of the Darkness. So that pretty much sums up the deck right there. Anything else I didn't mention is just there for support, is just there to contribute to your main strategy of generating Darkness, buffing Darkness, making Darkness cheaper, grinding the opponent out. Sometimes you'll just be winning games by grinding the opponent out of resources, but you do have a way to actually close the game, because when Veigar flips, every turn you'll be generating a copy of the darkness. Every turn you'll be generating a copy of the darkness, and darkness can start targeting face. So by this point, darkness is probably like 5 or 6 damage. So just after a turn or two of Veigar being on board, you'll probably be able to close out the game. So there's darkness right there. I'm excited to see if I actually climb with this deck. Like I said, I've been having a rough time on the ladder for the last week or so. So let's see if we can get closer to that Diamond 4 threshold. Probably won't get it today, but we'll see if we can get close. All right, that'll do it. YouTube viewers, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do post videos every day, and I also stream on Twitch at Royce Gaming, which I will try to remember to link in the description. So go ahead and visit me on YouTube, visit me on Twitch, and see me learn these decks, and we can figure them out together. All right, that'll do it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Later. Okay, so we're going up against Taliyah Malphite. We actually were playing this deck last week, so I think we generally understand what it's trying to do. We're not up against Grandpa Roji, thankfully. In the mulligan, we're looking for Twisted Catalyzer, we're looking for Stilted Rubemaker, we're looking for Veigar. This deck does play Rite of the Arcane as a 4 damage removal, so we should keep that in mind. I don't think we keep Senna, but that might change. Maybe we'll realize we should be keeping Senna. Okay, we've got a Twisted Catalyzer. Everything else is a little situational, but that's fine.
Only I can command darkness.
We'll see if they use Rite of the Arcane to burn a mana crystal and kill this. They don't. So we're going to be open attacking. It's pretty hard for them to prevent this strike here. Nice. So if I can get 2 strikes with Twisted Catalyzer, that would be amazing. Very amazing. Okay. I think they would just do something there if they had it. So let's play this. We don't want to burn our mana if we don't have to.
Bring me your darkness, my Zep comrade.
Okay, nice. So the opponent has nothing on round 1, 2, or 3. We're looking good. Now we don't have Stilted Rubemaker. That makes things a little awkward. What if we just Vengeance here? Like, we kind of want to keep Vengeance for... Oh, but the problem is if we Vengeance here, then we can't Darkness into Senna. Oh, but then if we okay, so what are our options this round? We could Darkness, go down to 3 banked mana, play Senna. Oh, Senna generates a Darkness, and then attack, and we get another Darkness. So let's just Darkness here. We'll pass. And now I'll play this Senna.
You could say I got a life with.
We'll Darkness, and then we'll get another one.
If it's made of sand, I can write it.
So the problem with doing this, so you can actually put Darkness on the stack while attacking, and you'll still generate another one. But the problem with that is they can still Shadow Block with Earth Elemental. We have the potential here to push some damage.
Make the hurt.
Now the downside here is if they now use this landmark to cast Rite of Arcane, killing my Senna. They don't. Okay, we're in really good shape here.
Darkness and light.
Move.
Okay, so we got 2 procs off of Twisted Catalyzer. That's really nice. That's pretty much the best you can hope for. Okay, so they were going pretty slow because they hadn't generated any landmarks yet. Now that they have, they can start playing out their chips. But it's not that scary. Nice, we have Twisted, or Stilted Robemaker rather, so we can Robemaker into Darkness. That's fine. Robemaker is also a good blocker here. Okay, that's pretty slow. We don't mind. This feels really good.
Turn it against them.
So now we can actually open attack. If they drop Malphite, we can Vengeance. And if they drop Malphite here, they are below the ability to deny it with Rite of Negation.
Boom. Darkness and light.
I know the mountain. If they don't drop Malphite, we will strongly consider playing Veigar here. Maybe not though, because Veigar can generate a darkness. Okay. So they're gonna get I think a 5/4 and a 9/8 here. Oh, well actually they've only summoned 3 landmarks here, so they're just gonna get 2 5/4s. That's not that scary. So let's darkness.
Spirits ain't gonna free themselves.
Do we darkness into Veigar? Yeah. Veigar is now leveled.
Concentrated forgiveness.
We'll see if they do anything else. Nope. So since he's leveled, Rite of Arcane is not enough to kill him. Okay. Can we actually win here? So we have this to deal 5.
You're also very, very sweet.
We could deal some AoE with Detonata. Plus block with Detonata. That sounds good. But we can't block with Detonata. So we'll just take 7. But they've got this unstoppable force. There's no getting around that. We have actually 1 plus 5, so we're 3 off lethal. We could kill this. And only take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would also allow us to darkness something else. Detonata is kind of hard to use. So let's just do that.
Gonna be a long night.
I'll put on some coffee.
We're going to see if they actually play something else here. We'd like them to do that so we can kill it as well. We'll see if they play another chip. If not, we can just put this on the stack. Okay. We take 7, that's totally fine. Ooh, are we dead? Are we dead? Wait, no, that's not enough. Oh my gosh, that was so scary.
Getting dark.
They had to double buff this one. And then I would have gotten down to 1, I think.
And it's never done.
Because they would have had 7 plus 9.
Keep your
They would have still been 1 off, but I don't think Shreema or Targon have good, yeah. I'm not sure if they thought they were winning there.
on to the next
Goodness gracious. Actually, a better play there would have been to wait for them to cast Unstoppable Force and only then play Detonata. If we had done that, then we would have had a blocker for Malphite. It was really rough. But that doesn't change the fact that Scouts is like a tier 1, tier 2 deck, and it's the same with Darkness. So even if I perform poorly today, I just want to say that that doesn't like cast aspersions on the deck. It might just be like a low sample size. Speaking of Scouts. Yep, indeed. I like Robemaker, I like Veigar. Let's toss away these two to look for Catalyzer. Now Scouts, I think, doesn't usually play single combat, so this Veigar should be pretty safe if we actually have the time to play it. Box is good against Misfortune. It's also decent against Quinn. There's our Twisted Catalyzer, very nice. We'll try to get a free block on drop border. If they only offer the 2-1, then we'll still block.
Drink your darkness.
So on 3 here, I'm just going to pass because I want to box their Misfortune. Okay, they don't play it, which means I will take an alternate game plan. Well, they might play that into the Divine Shield card. In which case, box still wouldn't be very good. Let's just play a Conchologist. They do run Sharp Sight single in this deck, at least most of them do, with Aegis and Pursuit. So I know they play triple Aegis and sometimes single Pursuit. And I know they play triple Sharp Sight. The build that I saw didn't run single combat, but I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, if some of them do. We could Fading Memories for an extra Robemaker. That's an option. I think here let's just Trixie Tentacles. So what I'm going to do here is, well, I don't have the mana to keep this Veigar alive if I play the Veigar. Meaning, like, even if I draw a Mist Call or a Stress Defense, I can't do anything with it. Let's just use this right now. We'll see we'll get some hand read stuff going on. If they think they can just play the card right now to prevent the Trixie Tentacles from going off, they'll be sorely mistaken. Okay, so they had a Ranger's Resolve. That means if they play Misfortune here, the box is more likely to kill it. Okay, I'm not going to do it against that. Veigar or Robemaker? Let's Robemaker. I'd rather play Veigar later once I'm actually close to getting Mist Call mana.
Hopeless, honestly.
So here they're going to challenge with the Fleet Feather Tracker and then swing with the other two. This should challenge the 3-1, right? Oh, that's wrong. Let's take this kill. Okay, so they have second resolve. That happens. So we have a play here where we can actually pass and just, again, try to box Misfortune. They've shown double Ranger's Resolve, but they might still have Sharp Sight. If we box and they have Sharp Sight, we're in really big trouble, though. I think we just have to lose some tempo here, play this Veigar down.
I've got your back.
Okay. So that was a really weak turn from them. I'm happy to see that. Okay, I'm going to hold up this box as an option. Let's spend our darkness so they feel safe. Yeah, box is amazing versus Kinku Wayfinder. It's really good. We've got this versus Quinn, or Genevieve, I guess. So this is actually going to kill Genevieve when they trade into the Veigar, and then they'll get in for 6 damage. Another option there was, I mean, I could have held up Mist Call to resummon Veigar after all of those attacks, but I would have just lost way too much life. So here we can actually get some things going with Senna. We can Senna, Darkness, attack, get another Darkness. We can even play...
There's a lot of darkness out there.
Okay, we don't have mana for anything else. That's right. I'm not too worried at this point if they drop a Misfortune. Okay, so that Dune Keeper is really good, or that Sand Soldier is really good for them. They can just block with it. But I feel like I've kind of stabilized here. Of course, we still swing. They don't have a Sharp Sight block. They do have a Sharp Sight plus Ranger's Resolve block, or double Sharp Sight block.
Darkness and light.
They could use Golden Aegis here. They don't. Nice. And at this point, their rallies have been kind of just torn apart. They're not going to be able to do much. This might be a Descent Ada turn. Nice. So we were able to starve out Scouts that time. That felt really good. The key turn was when they, I think, on like round 3 or 4, they just played a Bright Steel Protector and then passed, burning like 2 mana. It's very unlikely for that deck to have to play so far off curve, but it did. Alright, so I know this deck pretty well, but I think it does well into me because it's a mid-range deck. We lost to Akshan Pantheon earlier, which I think is a weaker version of it. It plays single combat, so we have to be concerned about that. But I think we still keep Veigar and Senna. Not Senna. Let's just keep Veigar. This matchup isn't great for us. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's just keep the Veigar. So we're worried about single combat and we're worried about Cataclysm. Oh, nice. We got our good followers here. Thankfully, Twisted Catalyzer still strikes even if they single combat.
I don't need rules to know good from
I don't think this deck plays what's it called? The vulnerable granting 1 mana card. So let's just play this now so we can open attack.
command darkness, only I. Villains beware.
Now here they could have Sharp Sight. How do they always have on-curve Akshan? Good question. Oh, that's very interesting. I think they should have blocked with Akshan there. We have the box, potentially.
Cool eye patch.
Do we do this to be mana efficient?
Shut up and fight!
I think so. Nice. We're slowing them down. If they develop, then we will Stilted Robemaker, taking away their Akshan attack.
All that glitters.
Okay, against Sivir. We want to threaten Akshan, but they could have Shapestone anyway, so they could have Shapestone into the Stilted Robemaker. So I think here we play Veigar.
Come to witness my ingenuity, Lord Veigar.
We don't block either of these, I think. Well, no, that's not true. Well, they both have quick attack. Yeah, we don't block either of these. I would get greedy in Veigar. Yeah. Yep. That's how it seems like this deck works. Like, you look for opportunities to play the Veigar. Alright, we've got a... Is there any reason not to develop Stilted Robemaker? What are they going to play on 5? Oh, they could have Vakoran Bruiser. I don't want to attack into Vakoran Bruiser, so let's just swing now.
Hug it out.
Okay, they block with Akshan. They probably have another one. They're going to play it down leveled. Potentially. I can group shot Darkness the Sivir. I have a few different plays here. I have Robemaker, I have darkness, whatever unit comes down. I have group shot darkness. I like the idea of being able to get... Ooh. Do I try to kill that? That's pretty good. The thing just to note here is I don't have a lot of darkness generators. I just have Extali Sentinel. I think we do this here. Kill Sivir. Really?
Now who shall I destroy first?
Alright, if you say so. I'll kill Sivir. I guess I also have the guaranteed kill on Sivir. They can just Shapestone this. I will follow your orders, Berserk Derper. You've played this deck more than I have.
The darkness consumes you.
It's just when I played Akshan Sivir, like, Sivir never... I know it feels weird, but Sivir never felt that great. Yeah, you're welcome.
Arda's gonna make a meal of them.
Okay. We're actually kind of fine if it dies, because we have Rekindler. Let's see. This grabs here. We don't have a clean kill on Vakoran Bruiser no matter what we play, right? Maybe we just play the chump blocker first. Into... That could be relevant. I think it's Electro Harpoon.
Wondrous discoveries await below.
Gently, gently.
Okay. Do I have to be worried about that damage? If I do, I just won't block the Treasure Seeker. I'll block that instead.
Lord Vega, you cannot rush perfection.
Yeah. So here I think Vakoran Bruiser grabs here. No. Merciless Hunter challenges. Oh. Okay, yeah, that makes the most sense. So did we clear the board? Or do we prevent damage? We've got lifesteal coming down soon. But not yet.
Persistence is key.
Bro, imagine if I didn't kill Sivir. You're right. You're right. Okay, we can get a clean kill on that with
Easy does it.
this, but we won't have the mana for it. We actually will have the mana to Extali Sentinel.
Persistence.
Let's deny some damage. Sivir's leveled up here, right?
Wonder how much this
Oh, not quite. But still, I think you're right. So, what are they looking for? A spell shield? Challenger? If not, they're probably looking for just,
Finders keepers.
yeah, tough doesn't do much. They would need tough plus, plus more. So I think I Extali here. Because I can't do anything with Veigar.
The elements bind the living and the dead.
And this way we're going to come very close to... I think Veigar will be leveled once we actually play the Rekindler. Okay. So they're preventing a lifesteal? Here they would like to see anything they can play for less than 3 mana. So Vanguard Sergeant, if they play that. They want to see Akshan, because it'll be leveled. They want to see like Fleet Feather Tracker, Merciless Hunter. We have Minimorph if we absolutely need it. Here in this case I'm glad that we... Okay.
You're covered.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm glad that we took the block against the Vakoran Bruiser. So I lose to Absolver here, but they have to pre-commit. Okay. This is slow. I can't do anything on the stack. I think I'm gonna plan to like Twisted Catalyzer plus potential Electro Harpoon plus like Robe Maker. I wanna. This keeps Minimorph mana open. Now, unfortunately, if they Absolver, they just activate them one at a time. They activate it one at a time. They have to pre-commit. Okay, so I just let that through, clearly. This deck doesn't run any pings. Robe Maker? Oh, but it does run rallies. I lose to rally here. Don't rally me, bro. Kindler. Yeah, I think we have to pick apart the board with darkness. We can... Okay, what do they have? They just kill it? Okay. Let's just start preventing damage.
My duty's done.
I am running Stress Defense. I think I'm running 2 copies. There I should have probably swung before using a copy of the Darkness. Nice. They don't get the kill. Yeah, let me show you my deck. Or at least what's left of my deck. I'm playing 2 Stress Defense, 1 Miscall. I think the problem here is we are dead on the open. Yeah. We're dead on the open. We really need a ping. Oh no, what we have to do is we can Electro Harpoon. They're 4-1. And hope they block here.
Chin up and smile.
They don't block. Okay, they're good. So they really should challenge here. I don't think we have... Ah, man. We almost got there. Just take the open attack. You win the game, Cloudy. Just take the open attack. Don't let me climb back into this. Don't throw.
Protect and strike.
Yep. Good game. Man, how about that one? Anything I should have done different? I think the concerted strike on the lifesteal was a killer there. Let's try to get 2 wins. Ah, man. Mid-range. There's so much mid-range in the meta right now. That makes it hard. Pantheon Shyvana is the best version. Let's keep a champion this time. This is very, very bad for us. Yeah. Like 40% win rate. It feels worse than 40% though. Do they get the Saga Seeker? Dragon Chow, okay. So I guess Shyvana Pantheon just makes the deck like less bricky, kinda.
Big head, big brain.
Like it, yeah. Swing.
Joust with genius.
So we're gonna get a double strike with Twisted Catalyzer here, most likely. Oh, they're having a slow hand. That's nice. No Wounded White Flame. Let's see. Do we burn mana here? Do we ping that so Wounded White Flame will kill the Dragon Chow? It will buff the Wounded White Flame, but reduce their number of. No, that's dumb. Let's just play Dark Bulb.
Bring me your darkness, my zept comrade.
Let's see. Alright, well, yeah, no Wounded White Flame feels really good. No Saga Seeker. They probably have Shyvana here. I'd be very surprised if they didn't.
Fire and fury burn me.
We sort of have a kill on that. Sorta, kinda. I think we pre-darkness. Ooh, and what we might do is actually block with Twisted Catalyzer and stress defense something. Potentially. If they choose to attack in any way. Well, I don't think that makes sense, because if they choose to attack in any way, they're showing a buff. And a buff just ruins that plan. You take the pass 1,000,000 times a day. We can open attack, or we can generate a darkness. I think I'd rather open attack into Robemaker into cheaper darknesses. If they block the catalyzer, well, they shouldn't block the catalyzer here. I don't know, I'm talking about that. We also actually potentially have the kill on Shyvana here. Ooh. Block? Website block? Ah, that's smart. Okay. Alright, do we prevent that with group shot? Vile Feast. What do we think? Yeah, let's just kill this now. And then they buff it, and then what? At that point, do I just play Robemaker? Oh wait, this is gonna die anyway. Never mind. So all I'm doing here is I'm getting value out of these cards, and I'm keeping this alive. Might be an overcommitment then. Single combat here was already pretty good for me. Okay. Yeah, pretty sus play there. Let's get this Robemaker down though, so we can start getting Senna value.
Walk the fabric, minions.
Next round we do not have Senna into Miscall, so let's think about that. Single combat, killing the catalyzer. That'd be fine. Okay. So now we know they might have it. Oh, they're at 0 Pantheon ticks? Really?
Dragon blood
Another Shyvana? Okay. So now do we Senna? They've shown single combat. So they could buff up this Shyvana and then kill Senna mid-combat. I think we wait a little longer on the Senna. That might be the wrong play, but we'll see. We'll just take Tricksy Tentacles. Here I'm thinking about blocking with Catalyzer and miscalling it.
For my fury.
I will drink your darkness.
Okay, so when this is buffed, it's going to kill the Robemaker. I don't think we block it yet. I'm not worried about this damage. So this is looking like this game is within our clutches. With their really bad start. I might have ruined it for myself by overreacting to that first Shyvana, but we'll see. I know their hand is full of buffs. Because so far they haven't. They've been kind of bricked out. So they could potentially try to push extra damage here. Really? What do they have? Did they just have like 3 Pantheon? Okay, let's get this back. I think we're at just one Robe Maker cost reduction. So next round we'll have 7 mana plus 2, 9 mana, so we can Senna, Darkness, attack Darkness. Okay, there's their target for the turn, plus Shyvana is close to leveling. But in any case, I'm not going to Tricksy Tentacles here, I want all my mana. Senna, Darkness, what is it? Okay, it deals 4. So we'll Darkness on the Shyvana. And then swing and potentially Darkness the blocker. If you revive the Robe Maker, does it reduce your Darkness again? Yes, it's a summon effect, not a play effect. So Robe Maker would reduce again if you revive it. This is looking pretty good. I've got another Senna coming. I've got a strong Darkness. Against this deck, if you win the board, you win the game, unless they have you low and they can just win with Pantheon.
Sure must be nice, taking things slow.
Let's Darkness here. Let's see if they buff it out of range. Here they might want to single combat here, just to pre-level their Shyvana, so that the third Shyvana comes down leveled. Can't do much against that. Oh, that's interesting. I think we have to be okay with that, and we just have to be okay with trying to win with our second Senna.
Now I take to the sky.
The question is, do we Tricksy Tentacles? We might. We can only cast 1 Darkness on the defensive turn with the Senna. What might Tricksy Tentacles hit? Like a, yeah, so we don't want to be using Senna plus Stress Defense next round. Well, we actually could, because we can Senna. But Stress Defense isn't good, because they already have large units. Let's just see what we can take away. Let's see if they know what this card does. Who's streaming? Majin Bay is streaming. Cool. What did they lose? I wasn't watching. Dragon's Clutch. Oh, nice! They didn't want to play that here?
By my spear, the
Pantheon. Pantheon is far from leveling. It's hard for this Pantheon to attack here. Got Pokey Stick if they try to pre-commit something first before swinging. They don't. Okay. You can stress his unit too. It's really good, almost like a flash freeze. Yeah, I know about stress on their unit. Let's go here, here, here. Okay. They've put themselves in a position where they actually have... they have to play a few cards. They've already shown their combat. Let's see if we can get this Strafing Strike out of their hand. I think we probably will see it get played, most likely on like the Conchologist. If that happens, we can actually Pokey Stick, and then Strafing Strike will kill the Shyvana. Okay, they just take Overwhelm now. Why did that, Oh, does that give it +1/+1 and overwhelm? Okay. Let's see, let's stress defense here. Try to get another catalyzer hit. Now I'm committed to not playing Senna this round, or at least not using her darkness this round. If they're throwing down their Pantheon that readily, I think it's pretty likely they have another one. So we should look out for that. So I think their hand right now is probably like Pantheon, obviously Strafing Strike, but they have 3 cards. They do that. Okay. What if we pokey stick our own unit? That works, technically. What's happening if we don't do that? It really is our only good pokey target this turn. I know we're taking... Okay, we're actually not taking extra damage from this because the spider would die anyway. Vengeance is nice. So, what is darkness at? I think it's at 5. So there's a consideration to use Detonata. I think I'd rather Senna here. I don't think I can Senna plus Vengeance very easily, but I can Senna plus Whale if I needed to for some reason, just because I want to use Senna's darkness.
Long road behind, long road ahead.
So I'm in a pretty similar situation to before. So if they Concerted Strike here, okay, if they Strafing Strike, we can Vengeance, right? What would that do? Vengeance here. Could Darkness there and hold the Vengeance. But I kind of think this Darkness isn't going to work. I think they're going to buff the Shyvana out of range anyway. Let's just do this. Keep our Senna around and just not swing here. This deck has a hard time dealing with hard removal. It usually doesn't play Bastion. I'm not going to swing with Twisted Catalyzer here, I think. Maybe that was wrong. Okay, so we have Darkness against either of these. Well, actually only against the Screeching Dragon currently. So if we do that... So if we Darkness here... Okay, so let's say we Darkness here. Strafing goes here. This goes down to 3 and back up to 5. Actually 6. Which one do I Darkness? If I Darkness here, then they can't Strafing. They have to do something else. Well, they can't Strafing the Senna, is what I should say. There might have been a play there where I actually Withering Well in the stack to just kill the Screeching Dragon once and for all, but I want to see what the Strafing Strike does first. There are too many factors for me to consider here. Unfortunately, here we are down to Senna. That's not enough. Is it? Why is that enough? Oh, because they don't use the Strafing Strike. So here if we Withering Wail, that'll be down to 8. They'll have to strafing the 2/2. Withering Wail will also rescue the Senna, right? It won't, but it'll kill the Screeching Dragon. Okay, let's Withering Wail there. We're out of stuff, though. Unfortunately. Plus, they have a known card in hand. Judgment? That's not fair. Okay, so we need to Death and Ada here. Hopefully this is up to 5 damage. I can't... Oh, it might only be up to 4. Oh, man.
Gonna be a long night. I'll put on some coffee.
5, okay. So the next one you cast this round. Your next Darkness this round costs 0 and reads ideal damage to all enemy targets. We're... Yeah, they're just waiting for us to... They've got something. But they can probably only rescue the Shyvana, and we still have this stress defense. Okay. So here, what if we just double swing? Yeah, we definitely swing with the Designator. We give the option. Oh no, we box first. Deny this gem. Swing with Designator. We have stress defense for the Shyvana next round. Okay, we'll still swing here. They should take this damage, I think. I think they have lethal with challenge here, plus swing with Shyvana, but they don't. Okay, that strafing strike isn't doing a whole lot. They strafing strike from the Screeching Dragon. My Designator survives. Are we gonna beat the Judgment? That'd be crazy. Nice. Is it Song of the Isles? Some lifesteal could be nice. I think that's the only one that makes sense.
Wondrous discoveries await below.
Are they gonna strafing strike? They should strafing... Okay, that makes sense.
From the skies.
We're both nearly out of value. Let's see what happens here. Veigar would be nice, I think. Robemaker is not doing a lot.
Calibrated miracle.
So we definitely need this lifesteal. But are we okay with having the lifesteal on the backswing? If we want to lifesteal now, we don't want to let them play Pantheon with Barrier.
Let's give this a shot.
Okay, pretty bad top deck though. If we lifesteal here, they just block here, We heal 7, we go up to 11. And then we might, I think we potentially survive just the Shyvana on its own with Stilted Robemaker. But do we pre-commit this? Let's pre-commit. Scare them a little bit. Some sort of buff for this Wounded White Flame would be good. They don't have one. Is that a Pantheon? There's a lot they can do here. It's pretty hard for me to win from this point. Actually very, very difficult since this has Overwhelm.
She called me betrayer.
Yeah.
She scorned me.
What would I need? Mini Morph, obviously, Vengeance. Twisted Catalyzer is not enough. That's game right there. Oh man, these Pantheon games are such a grind. They just strafing strike and win. They strafing strike the blocker. GG. What? No, you won! You have Cataclysm? Why?
Return to us.
Now Cataclysm won't do it because I have 5 damage fast.
Through the darkness, I see something new. Hope.
Okay, that's still not enough. I'm gonna get another darkness.
Make the hurt your weapon.
What else do they have?
Only I can command darkness. Only I.
I might not have. Maybe I shouldn't have played this. Maybe I should have just bluffed with this at this point. I don't think it's doing a lot. Like, I mean, the extra damage isn't doing a lot is what I'm trying to say. I think I just full swing. They're holding up Judgment, but they've already used one. They're going to have another Judgment. Okay, Judgment isn't enough because I'll just Darkness whatever the target is.
My path is set. I cannot turn back.
Okay. So, in that case, I just hold this Darkness. So they need Pantheon here. Hopefully for them that's Pantheon. I think they play it with Barrier. If they have Pantheon, I want to get a ping. They had the game! They literally had the game. I had no option to combat the Strafing Strike. I think they just forgot the Overwhelm interaction. Oh my gosh. That's a YouTube game right there. That's a YouTube game right there. Oh, but I actually have to end soon. If I win here, I have to end the stream. I have to end the stream. Okay, so let's settle down here. Let's settle down. That game took it out of me. Okay, Robemaker, keep. I don't think I keep Dark Bulb. Draven. They play the Boom Baboon, but I don't think it's worth keeping Group Shot for Boom Baboon. Rumble is going to come down with Spell Shield. Do we keep Group Shot plus Stress Defense for that? I don't think so. Maybe Dark Bulb is good, paired with Robemaker. Plus it's kind of a proactive play. Dark Bulb looks like a mini Veigar. Is that on purpose? Yes, I'm quite the fellow up on the roof. I'm quite sure the fellow up on the roof has many stories to tell. We all know he has lots to say. We just don't have any idea exactly what it is he's saying. Okay. Pass. Conch. Okay, I'm getting some things here. Getting some things done. We'll take another Stress Defense. That's good against Rumble. I'll attack into that Ballistic Bot. They probably shouldn't block. They don't. Okay. Here's the Draven answer. Here, if they ignition and then swing, I block because I have Pokestick. Should play the ignition. Okay. I don't know about that one. Okay, that's way too aggro. You're not going to win like that. I just take 3. I have the Pokestick. So here I play Stilted Robemaker. They ignition, so I can't swing. They don't. Okay. So I swing. I've got this Pokestick. I've got double Pokestick now. Double Pokestick, alright. Meaning I have Pokestick for Rumble. Okay, but they're pre-playing their discard cards, so no Rumble. Okay, so they're just gonna pull this. They're gonna try to get in for 5. We have Withering Wail? Yes! That's the perfect answer. Good game? Good game? Is that it? Yes! We did it! Oh man, that was so satisfying after all of those Pantheon games. Sorry if I peaked the mic there a little bit. Oh man, I'm so excited. Now, I frankly expected to do a little bit better with Darkness, but after the rough matchups we kept getting, we played like 60% mid-range decks. We played Scouts multiple times. We played Pantheon multiple times. We played Akshan Sivir multiple times. Oh man, it feels so good to win one. Oh my gosh. Hey YouTube, thanks so much for watching that video. You're seeing me here, hot off the tails of a nail-biter win against a Pantheon deck, which is a very bad matchup against Darkness, so I'm still hyped. And then I won like round 5 against a Draven Rumble deck by slamming a Withering Wail. It felt really, really great. But anyway, let's go ahead and run through the deck and discuss the card choices. I'll be talking about any potential replacements as we go, and I'll also be talking about how happy I was to see the cards. Anyway, you get the idea. Let's go through it. So group shot at 2, very interesting. You could go up to 3 or you could play 2. Now this deck is already playing 8 pings, so going up to the 9th would require, I think, a pretty good reason to do so. This deck can't very often get the second effective group shot. My boards didn't tend to be that wide very often, at least compared to the Diana Zoe deck. But you could just play a 9th ping just for 1 mana, fast, 1 damage. Consider it if you play a lot of Ari Kennen or a lot of aggro. I'll be blazing past the obvious choices. You've got to play 3 Conch, 3 Dark Bulb, 3 Pokestick, 3 Twisted Catalyzer, 3 Vile Feast probably, 1 Missed Call. Okay, Missed Call and Stress Defense I consider as a package together. Both of them are trying to do the same thing. They're trying to keep your Veigar alive. Missed Call will recur it once the Veigar is already dead. Stress Defense will save it from dying in the first place. Now, Missed Call is a little bit less consistent because if they use like an AoE on you, then you have to sort of roll the dice to try to get the Veigar back, whereas Stress Defense is very targeted. But I like having both of them here because oftentimes Missed Call will just basically tell the opponent, hey, I don't care how many cards you spend, I don't care how much mana you spend to try to kill my Veigar, it's coming back at full health, do your worst. Whereas Stress Defense is just sort of saying, I'm going to give Veigar a little bit extra health. Oftentimes this will just be a +2 health. If it's already damaged, Stress Defense is obviously better. But these things, yeah, they just sort of demand different options from the opponent. And since they don't do the exact same thing, I like having a mix of them. So the version I'm playing here has 1 Missed Call, 2 Stress Defense. You could vary that a little bit. You could probably reasonably play a second Missed Call. You could potentially go up to 3 Stress Defense. Stress Defense is also nice as a defensive play to Stress Defense their large attacker, and it can be used to do something like get an extra strike from Twisted Catalyzer. So I like the idea of playing more Stress Defense, but Missed Call also definitely has its place. Robe Maker is obvious, you've got to play it. The box is very good at 1. You might even consider playing another box. Let me tell you the things that this hits. This hits any kind of aggro deck. It hits Kinku Wayfinder. It's pretty strong against Scouts because you can hit their Misfortune, their Quinn turns, although they will have Ranger's Resolve and Sharpsight pretty often, so just keep that in mind. I'm not sure if I mentioned Kinku Wayfinder, but this hits Kinku Wayfinder and Ari Kennen really hard, so consider playing a second box. Obviously, you're going to max out your champs. Withering Will at 2 felt great. I'm saying great because I thought I was going to say good, but great just came out because in that last game, it was bam, a big Withering Wail that just won me the game against that aggro combo Draven Rumble deck. No hate to them, by the way. I love playing that deck, but it felt good, boy. Ixtali Sentinel, play 3. Minimorph, you could play 2 or 3. I've seen either one, so it just depends on what you're running into. Vengeance at 1. You could consider different ratios of Minimorph and Vengeance. These cards try to do slightly different things, so just ask yourself, okay, would I rather kill the targets, or would I rather turn them into 3/3s but take away all of their effects, and also do so at burst speed? Excuse me. Burst speed Minimorph is really important. There was a game against Mono Shurima where I almost threw by targeting a unit with Vengeance while they still had Ancient Hourglass mana up, which just meant they used Ancient Hourglass. They came back the next round, they got another summon trigger. I can't remember if it was an Azir or a Zerath, but they either got their Azir back or they got their Zerath back and pinged another one of my dudes. It did not feel good. So just think about if you have both of these in your hand, which you should be playing. The Rekindler at 1 felt fine. This is usually going to be getting back Senna, but sometimes it'll get back Veigar, and in the late game, especially if it's a Veigar, it will often be leveled at that point. So the Rekindler is nice as a little bit of a closer, and Desinata is some board clear. She's a little interesting because a lot of AoE is used to target aggro decks, but Desinata is not because she just comes down way too late. You're already dead against aggro on round 8. No, Desinata is used to sort of help you with the mid-range matchups. So Desinata is good in the mirror. Desinata is good against Pantheon. Desinata is good against, probably less so, Akshan Sivir. So if you want a little bit of game against mid-range, play Desinata. We still did very poorly against mid-range today. I think we might have beat Pantheon once. We might have beat Scouts like once. But it's a very difficult matchup even with Desinata. So just consider the decision on whether to play her. Like, do you want to make your weaknesses a little bit less weak? Not by much. Or do you just want to not run her and double down on your strengths? That's the consideration. Other cards to consider in this deck, I actually had one of my viewers say that they play Sentinels in here. So, Sentinels would be a very different build, playing Burgeoning Sentinel and Buru Sentinel, which are used to capitalize on killing units with spells. Consider playing Burgeoning Sentinel and Buru Sentinel if you want an even slightly more aggressive playstyle, a more mid-range playstyle of Darkness than the current more control-y build. I've seen a few other builds as well. You could be playing Yordle Captain. That's an option. I think I saw Alan ZQ playing Yordle Captain. He just loves this card. He plays this in his Diana Zoe deck as well. And just most of your units do get buffed up by Yordle Captain with the exception of Desinata. Everything else gets buffed. Desinata and leveled Senna. So that's a consideration. Again, that would be more of a mid-range playstyle. And then finally, I saw a build of this deck playing Aloof Travelers. So consider Aloof as well if you're running into some control matchups. I think Aloof can sometimes be even more effective than something like Vengeance or Minimorph because this can just discard their Feel the Rush before they get a chance to play it. So if I were running into issues against Feel the Rush, I would sooner play Aloof than more copies of Vengeance and Minimorph. Really quickly, I want to do a few other things. Let's look at one other deck list here. This deck list I found on the ladder, and it was piloted by I Don't Caw 1. I think it's more tweaked for the meta. It has sort of more one-ofs, more interesting ratios, so I wanted to start with a more vanilla deck build, but here are some considerations you could make. They play an extra group shot and an Otterpuss, so you have a 1-drop occasionally. They play a single copy of Glimpse. I can see Glimpse being good once they've already dedicated a lot of resources into killing your Vhagar. You can at least say, well, I'm not going to run out of stuff now. They are not playing Mistcall, and they're only playing 1 Stress Defense. I think they're probably able to get away with this because the standard build plays higher ratios of Mistcall and Stress Defense. It's kind of risky, but it gives them options to play alternative cards. We see the 1 Aloof Travelers that I mentioned in here. And then they play 3 copies of Minimorph. So there are some alternatives. And then also, I meant to bring this up in the intro, but I'm going to pull it up now. Let me just grab the matchup tables for this deck. So, as we can see, Vhagar Senna has a 53-ish% win rate. 4th highest in the meta as far as these measured decks right here. And then let's look at its matchup table. So as we can see, this deck does pretty well against Freljord Control, at least decently well. It goes even with Draven Rumble, and it beats Spiders really, really hard. So any deck that runs Elise, except maybe Iceborne Spiders, will be doing pretty well. I'm not sure if this is Iceborne Spiders here, but you can see how much this deck loses to midrange. It loses to Scouts, it loses to Iceborne Poros, and it loses to Pantheon. This 44% win rate here, it felt more like 20% win rate. This matchup was really, really hard for me. And we also go even with Ari Kennen. So that can't be understated. Ari Kennen is the top deck in the meta right now by play rate and win rate. So having a deck that goes pretty even with them, slight loss to the Shurima build, slight win to the Shadow Isles build, feels good. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover here today. Thank you so much for watching. Any subscriptions on YouTube, YouTube likes, follows on Twitch, just views on Twitch go a long way for me as a new content creator. I'm still only a week and a half into this. By the way, I do post daily YouTube videos, and I do stream every weekday, usually sometime around work hours or even as late as 7 p.m. Central Time. So that'll do it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you later.